We're live, yeah. Frame's
Okay,
looking solid, bit rate's looking good. Beautiful. All right,
let's
baby.
dive right
Episode
in.
3. Episode 3 of the Wavelength Podcast. We got some juicy gameplay to look over. And
Welcome.
it's gonna be sick. Welcome if you haven't came before. If you have came before, welcome back.
This is like a revival of the Wavelength Podcast because we recorded 3 episodes now, but they have all seemed to have gone to the graveyard because of some audio issues on the VODs. But if you were there live and you could hear them, then great, and that was awesome. And thanks for stopping in on those. But those are exclusive now, and if you're there from day one, you can say when you're one of those fans. But maybe this will be our official start with the VODs. Hopefully the audio is looking good. If you're in the chat, let us know if it's not, so we can get that fixed ASAP. But yeah,
Heck yeah,
here
man.
we are.
We made it. So we got Modern Warfare gameplay.
Yes.
And then we also got just 2v2. Did my video work? Okay, cool. It's here. Sorry, I had some video issues for a sec. We got 2v2 gameplay, not full multiplayer, but a little bit of a sneak peek. And personally, I was impressed. I mean, at first I was a little tentative, I'm going to be honest. I was kind of like, this looks a little bit like not so Call of Duty, which I think was everybody's first expectation with like the Rainbow Six and Battlefield discussion, you know? But at the same time, like once TP kind of got his groove and started playing well, like towards the end, watching him like do some cool mantles and slides and stuff was like really impressive.
Yeah, because I think it looked really clunky at first and it kind of looked really slow, but when he started doing slides and slide cancels and stuff, even really showed that you could actually still move a decent amount. But I agree, the movement did look clunky, and it definitely does make it a whole different game if the movement is going to be that much slower. Like all the animations look deliberate, and something I noticed was like in games like this where it looks like when you get into an animation it just locks you in so that you are being punished or really rewarded for these movements and animations that you commit to.
Yeah.
Not sure how much that's actually going to be true. Not sure how much they're going to lock you into some of these animations.
I mean, I definitely think it's more though, right? That's the key.
Yeah. Like some of the weapon switching. I did see TP do like a YY animation cancel, so that's a thing. But like switching from one primary to another when that 2v2 game mode, it took forever.
Yeah.
Like they put one gun away and then it shows them getting a whole gun back out again. Like it's 2 different animations almost.
Yeah, it did.
To get a gun out.
And honestly, I mean, we don't know what the perks look like. We don't know what the attachments look like. So there's probably things that enhance those types of things, right? Like when he had this, when he was playing the MP7, like he was climbing super fast. I don't know if he just a thing with having a submachine gun, or oops, sorry about the echo, or if it's a result of having another perk. I wasn't really paying super close attention to the I guess a lot of the perks are named differently at the very least, so I can't really tell what they are. But yeah, I don't know. I personally I thought the game was just weighty and good, right? Like it feels impactful. Like I feel like Black Ops 4, like we talked about it, Black Ops 4 had like really good sound for me. Like I think it's super impactful. But this game feels even more so. And going back to the classic guns just seems like a cool thing for me personally.
I was even thinking from a spectator's position, like this game won't be as like tricky or like flashy, but I think that it'll have some of those cool moments like CS:GO, because like even in the gameplay, somebody got like a Wandig, like fucking one shot that had a headshot deagle kill. And it just stuff like that is awesome, you know. Just I think that's gonna really implement a lot of like just tight scenarios or sweet clutches that are gonna happen in competitive.
Yeah,
I think they're going more that slow paced route, like slow paced, methodical, like strategy wins over skill type of thing. So, but yeah, like the gunplay seems like still quick enough, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to see how much I like the time to kill, and you really can't tell until you play it for a while.
And honestly, I think we're gonna really have to see full multiplayer as well. You know, like
2v2 is so different. It's a
and even like they didn't have built-in regen in 2v2. I've heard that they might have built-in regen in multiplayer. Also, I've heard that like we saw like the limit of 2 stim packs or on active healing. I don't know if is that something they incorporate into the multiplayer as well? Like you can just ditch your stun and get extra healing, or like. What does it look like, right? And I don't know. I'm kind of okay with either way, because if the game's slower, I think the active healing feels that much better, right? Like Like I
Yeah.
feel like if the game is slower pace and you can play around active heals better than you can in Black Ops 4, it feels like your gunfights can maybe be extended a lot more. There's a lot more room for you to like set up barricade walls as a team. I'm thinking like, good like competitive players setting up like you can literally set up like a wall on a spawn or on a hard point where it's like if you just jiggle peek corners and you have time like that to heal and it is a little bit slower, then maybe the games become way more tactical and you get like I don't know, like a Battlefield feel and a smaller map, a faster pace or something.
So I've heard from some people that like some of the YouTubers that got to play like a month ago, but have been under NDA. I've heard some of them say that there are no operatives or operators in this game or whatever, specialists, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah,
But then I've heard other people say they are specialists, and then like even in the gameplay that was revealed in the lobby, there it had like a operatives tab or something like that, or like operators. Like it was definitely a character tab type thing.
for
But I don't know
sure.
if that's only customization. It's probably. I mean, it's possible that that tab was only customization and that they just have it there as an
Maybe
option.
that's did it also have a Spec Ops tab? I don't remember. Is that maybe
I'm not
like
sure.
maybe you
I
have like
don't.
mini careers or something, mini campaigns for operatives or something like that as Spec Ops instead?
Yeah, I'm
I
not
mean,
sure.
I don't know.
My thought process was though, like I came up with this idea and I actually also read about it, so I guess I'm not like the only one thinking this, but
I
but
am
like
the originator of this thought.
no, like it seems like a pretty logical idea if like I not only like I thought of it, but like it's popped into a bunch of people's heads. That like on August 1st they're like gonna talk about what they're gonna call it like multiplayer universe for Call of Duty or something. That's like the little coin term that they've coined.
Okay.
At least a little bit out of the tweets and stuff from the streamers, but like if there's like one level for all of the multiplayer activities, kind of like a just like a player level, you know. So like you have your multiplayer level that's independent from like your blackout rank and your zombies rank and shit, but like then you also have like this big player level is like the umbrella for all those other ones. Like even that builds towards stuff is like the macro of the game, whereas like the multiplayer level is like a micro level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds interesting. And honestly, Black Ops 4 kind of moved more like very opening up the leveling, right? Like it used to be, I don't know, it was I mean, Black Ops 3 might have been the same way. I really wasn't, I'm not sure. But like the leveling to 1,000 was like a lot of people in previous Call of Duties would just hit max rank and just like sit there, And it's like obviously it's not a huge thing, but I'm a huge fan of the added levels and all the loot crates and all that stuff personally because I'm not gonna buy them, but I actually feel like you get rewarded pretty well. Like it seems like you're getting a good amount of stuff. It kind of has an Overwatch feel to me where like I feel good about what I'm getting. Um, so I hope that they keep that going. I'll be honest with you though, the thing that does make me a little bit nervous is like World War II was terrible. Like it was terrible personally. Like I thought that game was absolute garbage. Or not World War II, World War, right?
World
They
War
say
Two.
this.
Yeah.
Thank you, World War II. Yeah. Personally, like I don't know if it's just because my original experience with the game, like all the servers were crashing and stuff like that, but like that game kind of gives me vibes of this game. Just it's like if they took World War II and put it on a new engine and like spiffied it up. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like moved it forward in time a little bit. Um,
Well,
so
World War II is made by Sledgehammer, right?
yeah, but I'm saying like even then the feel of the game, like the idea that they're going for this like slower pace, like guns recoil super hardcore, like World War II had that feel for me. It just was on a different engine. It was made by Sledgehammer, yes. It was made by Sledgehammer. But
Yeah.
but
So Infinity.
I just feel like I hope if we go that direction that like I don't know, the game was like the time to kill was crazy low, which I didn't think the time to kill looked super low in the trailer for the 2v2. But the gun recoil and the gunplay kind of felt familiar to that, just on a previous engine, so it felt older and not as good.
It felt like it was a low time to kill, like really fast kills, but the recoil makes it longer.
Yeah.
If that makes
So
sense.
like if
Like
you're come
you
around
do a
the
lot of
corner, you're
damage,
gonna
but
get
it's harder to hit.
blasted. Yeah,
But
it's
they're also
interesting.
using shotguns and stuff, and they're also pretty close when they kill each other. And I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and then who knows? Like, what do the attachments look like? Like, there's probably one assault rifle that you get sick attachments on, and it's just a laser.
I
Like that's
imagine that game has a really fast killing, like really low time to kill. Honestly,
yeah. I'm
that
not
makes
sure how I
sense to me.
feel
Just
about it
because
personally.
with how slow paced it is and stuff, it makes sense that you just like kill really quick.
Yeah,
because you wouldn't want to like have long gunfights in that engine. It appears to me, at least.
yeah. You want the situation where like you can still bust ass around a corner or something like that, but you're not like sitting there chunking each other for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. And they're definitely trying to go for something really realistic, which doesn't always correlate to being a fun game. Like a lot of
Yeah,
developers think that realism is better for just because the game's super realistic doesn't make it amazing. It just makes it kind of have a shock factor for like a moment when you first see it. Like,
yeah,
oh wow, that looks really real. But and then you play it, it's like real isn't fun. Like that's why we play games in the first place, because you can fucking respawn in war. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. I
If you could
mean,
respawn in real life, everybody would do it.
I definitely think that the realistic play to it is going to make watching it a lot easier. Like,
Yeah.
I think the viewership experience, if they have a good, especially if they have like an updated engine, if they have a good built-in like theater system that's solid, give me like a CS:GO vibe, like the game could be much easier to watch. And honestly, I think it's decently easy to watch already, but it's like kind of super hectic with Black Ops 4. But if they give us a good spectator experience, it could be super solid. And I'm pretty confident in the way that like this game looks, that it's gonna have a decent spectator experience.
Yeah, and like even the map that was in like the warehouse and stuff, it kind of gave me like paintball vibes, which is like, and I've always thought it's like it just
Yeah,
looked really clean, just 2v2 symmetrical, like completely even. Like it scratches that like arena shooter vibe that I miss of like Halo and Gears, like where it's completely 50-50 even. Like and how in that 2v2 stuff, like I've never been able to really bring this up in COD necessarily because of all the classes and stuff, but like in 2v2, and by the looks of it, if you lost, it was your fault. Like there was
yeah,
nothing that happened because it's the maps are symmetrical and the classes are identical for everybody. So it's like they just outplayed you. They had a shotgun and a pistol as well. They just used it better.
yeah. I definitely
I just like when
it's
there's no excuses that can be made. It's like I
yeah.
won for this reason or I lost
I
because
just
of this
don't think
reason.
Call of Duty will probably ever be a game where you can't make excuses, because they kind of just build, especially they build pubs. So I think it's I guess that's fair for a competitive match. Pubs are always just gonna have bullshit, right? It's always just gonna be random, stupid stuff happening.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
but I
that's what
guess
I'm saying. That game mode specifically is something that I've never been able to say for
yeah.
COD
Did you
before.
see that they're gonna have a
It's,
built-in tournament system for the 2v2?
yeah,
Yeah,
like
that
you got a whole
sounds
bracket.
really cool. Like, well, like what if we just go on GBs and we're running 2v2s and shit?
That's
Like that'd
probably
be
how it'll
sick.
be used now,
Yeah.
because then there can be no disputes. It'll be all internal in the game.
Yeah, you can just send them the
You know what I mean?
copy of your
There's no
bracket.
disputes at all.
Yeah,
Like they literally just have to. They could have like one person from GB, like maybe not even, but like be the person that hosts this big lobby of 100 people, and then that person just hosts while the brackets are made. Then they leave,
but
and
how does
like
that
that's
work? Like, I'm curious, like how that's gonna conflict, like with so like say MLG's running these GBs, and then the game has its own built-in tournament system. Like, is Infinity War gonna try to like be the one organizing tournaments, or like are they gonna like
not
take? Are
necessarily,
they just
but
gonna
that
say? Are they
doesn't.
just gonna say, "Hey, here's a tool to help these guys do their thing"? I
No,
hope
because not
that's
necessarily, because like in Black Ops 2, that's when Treyarch made a nice theater system for a competitive, but it doesn't mean they're necessarily hosting the tournaments. They're just like aware that that's a nice facet of their game.
yeah,
So just because Infinity Wards make like putting support out there and shit doesn't mean that Activision's gonna be the one running every tournament and stuff. It's gonna be whoever it is right now.
yeah.
Still, which is LG.
Yeah. No, I mean that
So,
could be super cool. And honestly, I think game modes like S&D will play really, really well in this game. Like it just looks like a
yeah,
game that'll like be
this
super 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 cool for S&D.
this pacing really reminds me of it's like nostalgic, but it reminds me of COD 4 a lot. The first COD I was really
Yeah.
into. Um, and the reason I mentioned that is I was watching some like random leak video for Modern Warfare the other day, and they're showing COD remastered gameplay, and I was just noticing how slow it was. I was like, dude, if I could just travel back in time to when COD 4 was like out, like it would look like everything was in slow motion compared to now. It's just
Yeah.
interesting, like how much harder games can get over time. Like
For sure. For
where
sure.
where back when I was playing on those graphics, even I was like, wow, people are hard to see. They blend in. Now I look at them like these people stick way I'm getting these sight lines. Like it just looks so easy, and so you're
Yeah.
not slide cancel, jumping, and aim
Sure.
punching, and like all in one movement. It's just like you have an M16 that you just burst people in the chest and they're dead. It just looks so easy. But not saying that that's easy, but like the pacing is back from that game. That even Modern Warfare 2 kind of felt faster than that,
Yeah,
and like this is
yeah.
like the slowest COD since COD 4, and COD 4
Honestly,
wasn't always slow
MW2
either.
though, MW2 Search and Destroy was amazing. It came from, it was just, I would say it was just as good as COD 4 in that aspect, in the Search and Destroy aspect.
Yeah,
Like, because there was like a healthy sniping community. There's a healthy amount of people just running ACRs and UMPs and shotguns and people RPGing, and like it was just a fun, cool atmosphere. You could hardcore ninja defuse people, like you could just sound whore and like play the map super tactically,
yeah.
and you could just get around people and like literally 1v6 clutch if you were good enough. Like it was super cool. And
Right.
and I hope that I get that vibe back, because honestly, like in Black Ops, it kind of feels like, oh, you're 1v3. Well, as long as they stick together, you're fucked.
And something
Like,
I really do like Black Ops 4 thus far, but like something I really have always noticed with it is like Black Ops 4's S&D does not feel like Search and Destroy. Like people are running around, sliding around, sprinting, getting crazy, like quick gunfights. Like I always remember Search as being like crouched around, like just like, not that I necessarily promote that or love that gameplay, but it's kind of like how I've always, every game I got into Search, like COD 4 or COD 5 or World at War or whatever you want to call it, and then
yeah.
Black Ops 1 and 2, like it was still very slow. You weren't running around the map and shit. You were crouched, like holding angles and stuff like that. So like you had a sniper at the back of the map, and like you know what I mean.
That's the thing.
It wasn't as running gunny, which I don't think it should be.
Yeah, like MW2 was basic. Like, so I played a much more MW2 than I did COD 4. So Modern Warfare original, I mean, I put maybe 12 hours on it originally, because I played, that was my first COD game, and then I went right into World at War, and then later I went back and played a lot of COD 4. But
Yeah.
so like when I'm playing Modern Warfare 2, what was dope about the game, it was literally like they had pretty decent lane systems other than a couple wacky maps like Favela and shit. But you'd have like more or less a couple of lanes, two, three. Usually it was 3 lanes. Sometimes it was 4, or it would be like an open enough area that like you'd have ARs that could hold angles and hold lanes. And literally, it was like, okay, so whoever wins this S&D round is, you got to break one of these lanes. The only way you're going to do it is like nades, or like your sniper has to pop somebody off a head glitch or something like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
and that was the gameplay. It was like, okay, I'm going to UMP rush up the middle with the bomb. You gun this guy with your sniper off the head glitch on the right-hand side, and I'll cut back through right, and I'll flank the guy with the AR that's on their head glitch. We kill 2, we plan A, we win the round, right? Like, it was super cool. And in Black Ops, it literally just feels like, let's fucking bum rush around and outslide them and just outplay them, really. That's all it feels like, is let's just raw mechanics everything.
And something that is nice in Black Ops for those that like team shooting is bigger than it's ever been in any COD, which I think is a really good feel.
I agree.
With the time to kill they have and stuff, and with the speed, like if you're promoting team shooting in a game, it's always going to promote strategy and like just better strategy or just better maneuverability for a team as a whole, and just more chemistry. But like that's something that I really like, whether it is run and gun or not. Like if you win gunfights a lot of times, or you bum rush a lot of times just because you want to push numbers. But yeah, but it definitely does have a bad, like I don't like the feeling that in other COD games, like you die because he just saw me first or some shit like that a lot of times. Like, which of course should happen if you just had bad positioning and like it, but I don't know, to an extent, like I shouldn't just be able to kill people right as I look at them. Like there should be some sort of,
like MW2 had like 2 bullet kill times on a shitload.
Yeah,
of hits, you know.
Like I don't mind having an advantage because I see, so I like totally am all for that. Like if they have positioning and they happen to see me first, my back's turned, they should have an advantage of like 80% to 20%. But there should be like that chance that you can turn on them without them just being like having their controller die or something. Like there should be that chance that I can turn on people.
But honestly, the thing is those games didn't have the movement that the games have now. Like it didn't have the slides and stuff. So even like, I don't think we should go as extreme to time to kill like MW2. But even if the time to kill is less than Black Ops, I think your opportunities to outplay are much higher. Whereas in MW2, it's like, I'm just gonna spin on them with 10 cents and try to outgun them, right? Like that's all that it was. So like I think the old CODs relied on just you snapping on people, whereas like this new COD and Black Ops 4 and stuff, the movement adds a lot of dynamic to that.
I used to play on 10 sensitivity like for a while until
Yeah,
I
so did I.
started playing competitive and
But I was
Black Ops.
sniping a lot, so I was
I
I
was
was always max sense.
Yeah, we just all played it, and it was like the cool thing to do. We all got good at it and used to it because you just have to. You just end up doing it.
Yeah,
Just
but
human
your long
nature. But
range
like,
gunfights are ass, no matter what you
yeah,
tell anybody.
yeah. But like at that age, like even my older brothers be like, dude, how can you even aim? Like it's not as precise as like you just think you're cool, and like they're totally right, but you're just stubborn at the time. You're like, no, I can hit shots with this easily still.
Well, they say that, but then when I dump on their chest, it's like, well, guess you should
But it
turn your
just
sensitivity
but
up.
it's just the fact that like when like anybody plays at 14, there's no way they're as accurate as they would be at like 7.
Yeah, yeah.
Just I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I would say for sniping in particular, I think you can have wacky ass sense because you're not
Yeah, for
tracking.
sure.
You're not tracking. You're just snapping. So I think you can max sensitivity
Yeah.
on a sniper if you're used to it. But if you're playing an AR or a sub, well, I mean, like I can see going higher sense on a sub, but even max on a sub's like you're just gonna lose all your gunfights at decent range.
Yeah, you still have to be decently precise because you're tracing a lot.
Yeah, you're
You
tracing
you
a
just
ton.
have your shots don't hit hard, they just hit fast, so you have to trace a lot.
Yeah.
You can't trace too well on, like, max sense.
No. But you can't. It's also the balance of like you're 360ing a lot or 180ing a lot on subs usually too because you're in the
Yeah.
fray. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But, yeah, I'm excited to see, like, what they do August 1st with the multiplayer reveal,
Yeah,
just
I'm pumped.
where it's like a big multiplayer universe type deal where there's just so much involved. It could be a game where you can spend just a lot of time doing whatever you want, like, whether it's competitive multiplayer, zombies, BR.
They won't have zombies. I know that, but
No zombies?
yeah,
I don't really play zombies anyway, but
neither did I. Yeah, but honestly, I bet you if the BR mode would be sick. I'm pumped. Like I imagine
yeah.
like the game just looks super well suited to a BR. And
Yeah.
Blackout was really fun. I'll be honest with you. Like I played it on PC when it first came out, was getting shat on, and I enjoyed myself. Like so, I'm confident if we're playing on console, fresh off the get go, it's gonna be a blast, dude.
I just hope I don't know, I just always hated Blackout, like, COD is not a game that's made for those long range engagements like that.
They honestly
Let's
said
stay
the
with
map is
sniper.
like considerably larger too, which is
Yeah, I
like
know, it's like 3 times larger.
yeah,
But I think it has 150 people as
yeah,
well.
but still,
Which is
like that
insane.
math still
Pretty
works
big.
out to be bigger, you know,
Yeah.
like feel bigger. But
But
no,
I
man,
just don't think like COD, like when you're shooting at those long range engagements, single tapping just isn't efficient because the shots are shitty anyway. So then you spray and it just goes in like a square in the general direction that they're in.
yeah, yeah. I think
So
it's just maybe I don't know, but maybe it turns into this thing where it's like it's super densely built, right? Like if it's a big map, but it's like populated to the point where my issue with Blackout is you have stretches of just open area that are just huge. And
I just hope
so
that I
maybe
hope
with
they
a new
don't
engine
make
they can add a bunch of new stuff in, you know, and like my
Yeah.
thing is like if you give me lanes, even to the point of like we have trenches dug, right? Like there's trenches dug through here you can run through them, or like a bunker over here, bunker here you can run through. Like give cover to the point where you can like have trenches gameplay versus just sprinting across an open area, and you're
Yeah.
still traveling quickly. Like maybe that's a thing. I don't know. Because I think that
Yeah,
would solve the problem.
I hope they don't have like the remade maps just planted on some open fields. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
all
what it
Blackout
was.
map. The Blackout map was just like some terrain area that you just probably found out of some like in the engine, and then you just slapped maps in it that were made from multiplayer COD.
Yeah.
So like from Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and 4, like just randomly toss some multiplayer maps and then keep them all connected. I just think it's lazy. Like,
I think,
it's
but
cool.
it sounded
it's cool,
like
but it's lazy.
Blackout had a really kind of rushed development, though. It was kind of like
Yeah.
they were like 5 months in, they canceled the campaign and they did the VR.
Every development is rushed or like
Right, but
crunched
I would
nowadays 'cause
like
it's
to
not
think
like
if they have an engine
the
that they
industry is so
supposedly,
soft.
I feel like I would like to think if they have an engine that they supposedly have been developing for the last 6 years, 5 years, and that the BR is going to have some love put into it. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. That's just like my take is like if you're going to spend all this time in the engine and you're going to half-ass the game, that's a problem. Like, and if that happens, I'm gonna be pissed. Like,
Well, that's the thing though, is like nowadays there's not a lot of conceptual thought that goes into these COD games anymore.
they're
It's
just
more
cash cows, man.
It's what I'm saying is like with the engine, like most of the focus going to the engine. It's not like you got to focus much elsewhere. It's like this is going to be an ADS based COD game that has. Let's recycle half these perks, then we don't have to think about as many. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's not like they have to balance much, or like it's like riding a bike for them.
I mean, one thing I will say is
I wonder what the hardest part is of creating a COD game. Like what the hardest part is, because there's so much of it that's just set in stone, or just they've kind of laid the path. You know, it's not like you have to figure out much.
I mean, it's probably all hit detection and shit's probably the hardest.
Yeah,
I would imagine, because the map creation is not hard.
Get that right at this.
Yeah. They probably have some copy pasta code that they use for hit detection.
Exactly, like that. If they've been using the same engine this whole time, like you have it perfected at this point, hands down.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing about even the new engine, though, is like you don't know how efficient everything's going to be, because this is the first time coding on it. I don't know how new this new engine is.
It sounded like it's not even necessarily a new engine.
Version.
It's like a super upgraded version. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna be interested to see how much I like the realism of like the movements and animations, because even your crosshair moves, and then there's head shake and motion blur, and that's just shit that makes competitive harder. It's just harder.
You can turn all that off though.
Can you?
Yeah, they already confirmed.
I know you can in like Battlefield and stuff.
Yeah, they already confirmed you can turn motion blur off or adjust it.
They probably won't put this in because it's a competitive game, but I hope they have an FOV slider that on console. But maybe they will if with it being crossplay.
That's interesting. That would be cool as fuck.
Because that Fortnite, when it went crossplay, got an FOV slider because it wants it to be as equal as possible. Actually, no, there was no FOV slider in Fortnite. Sorry, no, I never got one. It had like some jank ass aspect ratio thing you could change, only on PC. So I'm not sure.
No, my thing is like, if they put the time in like this, and they do the same thing with the game, the way it looks, I'm pretty confident. The guns look like throwbacks to classic guns, but they're super unique and new. Like it doesn't look like they're just grabbing a gun and copying it over. Like the AUG looked super unique. The MP7 did. The Deagle looked cool as hell. Even the sniper looked like kind of like the USR off Modern Warfare 3, and like that. But it was unique enough that it was like new. And then the attachments, just by the name, sounded fucking wild. Like there was crazy amount of stuff.
I paused some gameplay and looked at some of the attachments and stuff just to see what they were like.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, it looks like there's a ton of attachments in this game. Just like a large amount. Just varies per gun. Yeah. Something I noticed about this engine too is like, maybe I'm weird and you can't really notice as much in the gameplay, but more in the gameplay trailer that they released like a month ago for the campaign or whatever. But like the engine everything looks softer around the edges, like, you know, just more like a soft, polished look, you know, like just like a whole different art style almost for just the human faces and like just the guns. It's like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It's definitely a different. It's totally different. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It looks less arcadey, is what it is. Yeah, it feels less arcadey
type of feel. You know what I mean? It's like got that softer, more polished.
It's real. It's much more realistic for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like a lot of times that throws me off. Like that's almost a lot of the reason why I liked COD was because it's so distinguished. It's like, here's the map and there's dudes, right? It's not like you're part of your environment, but that could make a dope. But the thing is that part of your environment thing could make for some dope gameplay if it's actually slower pace and you're tactical about it and shit. And then that already makes the BR mode dope. But
yeah, for that,
just already for that. But for competitive, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm all for it in Blackout because that can make it epic. Like some of the most epic FPS moments I've had are definitely in Battlefield, just like by like ratio of like explosions and just shit going off, you know.
Yeah,
like just
or like a fucking crouching through a swamp and shit. Yeah,
just like, screaming while there's a tank going over your head. You know, and that shit actually happens all the time.
We are gonna stream. We are gonna stream so much Blackout. You and I are gonna become the duo kings.
But like you said, dude, like. This is okay. So I actually used to play a decent amount of COD before I started wearing glasses, like every time I game, because I like have to wear glasses otherwise. But like I literally remember the day I started wearing glasses for gaming on Gears 3, and I just noticed I was like, what the fuck? I am just smashing people, like just a little bit more precise. But anyway, like a problem I always used to have with Modern Warfare 2, even specifically, which looking back on it doesn't look amazing or anything, but graphically back in the time, like I was just like, wow, this is really realistic. Like people blend in quite a bit with the color palettes and just the way the maps are set up. And like I actually had trouble with that. And granted, like I said, that's before I started wearing glasses. I don't really have problems seeing people in the CODs now, but like I really like with the CODs now that like there's no chance you can miss somebody. If I'm aiming at them, like that shows their health bar over their head and their name. Like and like you always get their name in the new game. You'll probably even get their name over their head. But like just even having the health bar is so nice, and it's just like having that sort of information about somebody you're killing. Like it's so nice in the game. I don't think it's cheap, and I don't think it's giving too much information either. I think you deserve to know that. Like, if these shots are hitting, like I shouldn't have to be doing math in my head based on like a invisible. Oh, each person has 120 HP in Modern Warfare, like because we found it in the code. Like you should know that these shots are doing this much damage, so I can make a call out on it. Like I think a player deserves that info, but my point is like I hope the game looks really good, but isn't taking itself to too much of a realism point where it's hard to see people because, oh, he picked a recon class, which isn't, I hope it's not a thing, but like, you know how back in the day, how it was all organized, like if you pick sniper, your character wore a ghillie suit, so he can crouch over here and not be seen. Like, I hope that shit
cold-blooded pro, you don't show up at like anybody aims at you or anything.
Right, but just or just like I said, like shit where your character just blends in because they are going prone in some dumb spot. I don't want to have to worry about blending in. Like I don't think that belongs in a COD game anymore.
Did you play World at War?
Yeah.
Like I will say, from a enjoyment perspective, that game kind of like took that approach, and it was pretty fun. But like you're saying, from a competitive standpoint, like I mean, from a competitive standpoint, though, none of the pros were doing the cheesy shit. You know, like
because it's always banned.
Because it's
no. I'm just saying. No, I'm talking about like public stuff. I'm not worried about.
But the public stuff was fun for me. Like honestly, I'll be honest. The World at War experience, like that kind of stuff, was like, especially for free for all gameplay and stuff like that. It was super dope because it was like you'd have people like ghillie suit and sniping, but then you'd also have people running gunning with the MP40 and stuff. Like I don't know. I like that, but I understand like this new game. I don't necessarily know that I want that in this Call of Duty because what I'm looking for is like a really big ramp up, right? Like World at War was like this, you know, early-ish on COD that was like super fun, but it wasn't like, it didn't have the vision that this COD has. Like the bottom line is they're doing franchising. They're like moving all this stuff. They got a new engine. They're putting all this, like this needs to blow my freaking skirts up, dude. Like this game needs to be sick. It really does.
Speaking of which, I don't know like what you felt, but I don't know if like that was the best way to reveal like COD game multiplayer.
I felt like they were like, oh, it's fucking July. We haven't shown them anything.
Yeah.
And they just threw it out. They're like, TP, Courage, get the fuck over here.
It was not the best. Like, and I know that I don't know what I don't know. It's cool. It's cool because streamers are probably the most efficient way to advertise video games right now, in this day and age, 2019. Other than TV ads, I guess, but like streamers are probably the most efficient way to advertise.
They definitely are, 100%.
So like, get Courage to bring all of his Fortnite fans, TP with all of his Blackout boys, and Syndicate's the Zombies stud. You know, like the Zombies legend. Fucking, I don't know the other
guy. Legion, but I don't watch it.
Yeah. And anyway, but like I just it was really kind of unprofessional. Like you couldn't necessarily hear game audio super well because you got Courage yelling on.
We have a sicker overlay than they did, dude.
Yeah, like it definitely felt thrown together. Like, and the developers are just kind of standing there, just peering over them, like all giddy and stuff, like about what they're doing. Like, whereas I would rather have maybe like no face cam or streamer voices, maybe a listening every now and then, but like having developers answering questions off Twitter or from chat.
What I thought would be cool would have been like if they set up a full multiplayer setup with TP in them, right? But like a full multiplayer setup, maybe in-house even, of players that are good. Like there's solid players. They're going 5v5 or whatever. And maybe they still do the stream setup and everything, but like it's a full 5v5 setup. These guys have had like a warm-up game to know what's going on. And then they come in and they just like are tearing at each other. Like that's how I would like to see it. Because COD players are not like, oh my God, this 2v2 is so hype. Like, no, they want to see some pub stomp shit. They want to see like Courage pop off and get kill streaks or something. You know, like I think that, like, I like their approach. I just think the 2v2 thing and how it looked so thrown together and how they're just standing back, like the presentation was garbage personally. Like, it just wasn't that good.
I like, even like, he could have done something like that, like where it doesn't even have to be necessarily good players, but just 5 influences within the COD community. Like even the people they chose were good. Like
Yeah,
Syndicate's
they could have
not
found
like
10 people though to play.
Syndicate's not like a zombies guy who doesn't play COD much anymore, but he's still competent. Like that's all you really need for this stuff. Like if they found like 10 competent people, had a match, then even afterwards had like a little like panel where they just had like 5 developers sit up there, like just talking about it, like just answering questions. I don't know why I'm such a freak about that, but just like if you have community interaction, then you're always gonna win with your community.
Yeah.
Like if you like your game could be shit and you'll be way better off than other developers that don't talk to the community. Like
what I would have liked to see,
but like at least you're there to understand.
Would have been sick. I would have loved to have seen them put a voting system up and say, vote for your top 10 influencers / pro players that you'd want to see on the Call of Duty reveal. And then you have a 5v5 game of the winners that just play multiplayer for 2 hours or for an hour on stream. They get to stream themselves, so they get the viewership that they're sending. And then, or maybe they just do one stream for the whole game, and then they have Maven cast it or something like that. Like
at the same time,
that would have been sick.
At the same time, though, I think this was just to get people to shut up. I think this was just like everybody needs to shut the hell up. We have a sick trailer coming out August 1st. I bet you this trailer is probably going to be anywhere between 7 and 10 minutes. If this game's as big as it's been leaked to be, I think this is going to be a trailer where they're walking through each system. They probably have some sexy female narrator saying, "This is zombies."
But I hate that shit. I don't want that. I want the authentic, just like throw me into the gameplay and show me the game. I don't give a fuck about the menu. I don't care about what this girl.
But that's what it shows. Like it'll say like this is this, and they'll show create class, and they'll dive right in and like show a montage of multiplayer. Which is,
I understand that, but then they should have started with that, right? That 2v2, then in that case, like the 2v2 thing was literally a band-aid. It felt like it was like
pretty much, but it's cool to see. So
it is. I'm down. Like I'm not complaining. I just think from a company presentation, it wasn't the best route. Like they could have made it way more impactful. Is all.
Yeah.
And I just think in general, like Activision and all the COD developers really need to fucking get their shit together with like community discussion and community interaction and like. They've got, I guess the pro players talked about Black Ops 4. They really did have a lot more of an impact on the game. Like they were listening to them about balance changes and stuff like that. But it just, I guess they did talk and say that all the developers are going to be working together more closely. But I feel like they've said that before in the past and they still don't. So I don't know, that whole dynamic better, like it really needs to work itself out on this game and the next game. Because if it doesn't, it's pretty sad.
Sounds like Black Ops 5 is still coming out in 2020, which is interesting. Really? Which means that this game's not going to be like a 3-year thing, even if they want it to be. Like, because I think Black Ops 4 is even technically supposed to be a 3-year program or some shit. Like they had in mind that you could play this game longer than normal, but now Black Ops 5 is coming out, so like, why would it make sense for people to stay at 4?
I mean, maybe they had that plan and then they just saw the reception and thought maybe they'd.
They just need to make one fucking super studio, make COD a like live service game that they come out with every 2 or 3 years. Do exactly what Destiny used to do. Now that like what I mean. Now that Destiny's not at Activision anymore, just come out with like a fucking $50 1-year deals like C thing each year, and I'll be cool with that. Like just the fact that I'm not changing games each time would be like probably satisfying to me if you came out with like just something crazy. Like new Blackout map, all new multiplayer maps, some new game modes, way different skins. I don't know, like anything. I don't know. Maybe that like is too hard to do on a COD, but it's almost like coming out with the new game, but just have it be a huge patch instead.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, especially with this turnover into a new engine. Like if it's any time to do it, now's the time to do it. Like you got a fresh kind of feel for your engine. You got new possibilities. Like no, like.
You can make it like that.
You could, I guess.
I almost a little bit of me like the way that World War II that it's like 3D lobby thing. It's
but it was just it was just connection was shit, and the game just wasn't like it was mechanically flawed. The idea was cool,
bro. If you could make like a lobby where you did everything like that though, like that was based around arena COD matches, like just kind of like a little city,
and you could like chow people in the fucking town and shit. Like hey man, you want a 2v2, bitch?
You could do it super well. It would be really like the thing you have to be like scared about or cautious about is not to make it too tacky or too lame, because it'd be really easy to do so, especially with like.
But wouldn't it be cool though that you could like go to the boards and like sign up for 2v2 tournaments and shit? and like
Yeah,
that
that'd be
kind of thing.
dope.
Like that'd be super cool. Yeah.
There's different places like you can go to gamble or
Yeah,
something.
you can see like
Get points and XP
you
involved
can
or
see
something.
like the MLG GB leaderboards in game and stuff. Like you can
Yeah.
go and like see that, and then like they'll do like if you finish top in a season, there's like a plaques with people's names on it and stuff. Like
I honestly don't even care. Throw microtransactions in that game. I really would want.
I mean, they
like,
have them.
Yeah, like put cosmetic I'm not talking about guns or anything like stupid like that. I'm like put an abundant amount of microtransactions in that game that are all cosmetic, and I'm all for it. Because like go to the casino and you can like even I guess you wouldn't be able to do that. It'd be too gambly, but like but even just be able to gamble XP like you used to be able to in Black Ops 1. Like so this is something that has nothing to do with real life money, but gambling XP for your rank and shit. Like there's those contracts. Because you know how in Black Ops 1's their system was used like coins to buy perks and guns and shit to unlock instead of unlocking them. So like you had to be a certain level, but also you had to buy it. So you can like contracts that were timed. It's like, all right, get 10 headshots in an hour, and if you don't get it within an hour, the $50 coins you put down, you lose. But if you do this within an hour, you get those 10 headshots and you get 100 coins. So you can do something cool like that where like you could gamble coins a game that are strictly like have nothing to do with tied to real money, because I wouldn't want it anywhere near like some shady microtransactions. I would want it to only be like proper ones that are all cosmetic and are not like toxic or strange or shady.
Right,
but
for sure.
But like you could just have it be cool, like a whole like I think of like just like old Phantasy Star Online for some reason, even though it was a totally different game, but like just the fact there's like a city hub that is just cool as fuck and like an awesome social interaction, and you can just go and do your thing just based around competitive PvP multiplayer shit, like whether it's BR or whether it's actually arena.
Yeah, and I feel like too, like the Call of Duty community is like very like challengey, right? Like everyone in the COD community is always like shit talking and wanting to challenge each other to game modes, and like they have a very competitive environment, like a very, very competitive environment. And so like I think the game's not done anything to kind of bolster that community up. And if they present something like that, like an area where these people, like I'm not saying you want to like put people in there to get bullied and shit, but like at the same time, it might not be a bad thing to have proximity chat on in a little open world lobby, and you can go in and shit talk somebody and then challenge him and his buddy to a 2v2, like
like I think they need to just remind themselves it's an M-rated game. I hate that M-rated games now are just
when you're playing an M-rated game online, you are entering the Twilight Zone. Like you're about to go into the Sahara Desert. And
so
it's going to be bad.
So this is how it is.
Fine.
There's COD Black Ops 4 that's M-rated. And then there's like, like other games that are M-rated that are in a whole different spectrum. Like M-rated's gotten so like, if you swear in this game, it's fucking M. You have to be 18. Like
two F-bombs.
They throw it on anything possible because they just are so into just putting kids in bubbles nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like there's Gears of War where you're ripping people's arms off with and like hitting them and like swearing and shit, and then there's COD where you have like a unicorn gun that's M-rated and you don't even see blood.
And then you have like like Devil May Cry and stuff like that.
Devil May Cry, God of War, where you're just dismantling people.
Yeah,
and it's just realistic. But I just wish like these M-rated games, like it really truly bothers me when you're gonna put an M-rated label on something and then have 12-year-olds in mind. Like fuck that.
Yeah, like especially with the online attachment, right? It's like you're playing this game and you're online. You're just accepting that you're just entering like a zone of zero holding back. Like people are going to be racist, people are going to be aggressive. Like, but you're on a chat, so mute them or mute yourself, and you're good. Like that's just the thing. Like, and I just don't like them. I mean, I not that they're doing anything wrong. I would just like to see them do more to kind of like put Call of Duty players in a position to be able to like have that competitive mentality with each other more directly versus like going through MLG, getting into GBs, getting to a lobby, and then they talk to each other, right? Like it just seems really extra.
Support for the competitive community by like putting it right in your game. And it gets everybody involved, even if you don't want to care about it. Like make it so like everybody joins like a faction or like, I don't know, like at the beginning. So like I don't know, just something like say there's a competitive like CWL Miami coming up, like every game you play in a pub match, whether you give a fuck about competitive or not, like that XP is going towards maybe unlocking stickers for your gun or like camos for your gun or your character, like just
And
something to
I
keep
think
you involved,
with the
even if you don't
franchising,
want
you're
to
going to
be.
see that a lot, right?
Yeah,
I think
you know
that's
what I
going
mean
to
though. Like it gets people involved, and like you're forced to be in it, and like it's not bad that you're being forced to be involved in that because it doesn't hurt you. You're just gaining cosmetic shit, or just whatever, just for
right.
spreading awareness, just getting more people involved in it.
Yeah, they could do
I think
fan
that'd be
battles
huge.
and stuff. Like, they used to do clan battles in Modern Warfare 3. Did you ever play that?
Yeah, a little
It
bit.
was a fucking blast, dude. It was super cool. They had a total tier system where it was like your total clan score per minute, your total clan's like kills, deaths, and then the KD ratio, and then it would also have like challenges. So it'd be like, okay, this week's challenge is you got to play this game mode. So you're playing hardpoint, or you're playing CTF, or you're playing TDM, right? And so you'd get into a group of your clan members and just smash lobbies, bro. I mean, oh my goodness. Like, you'd have a group of 6 guys that are pub stompers. It's like, good luck. Like, we literally dropped like 10 Moabs a game. And it was super fun because then you go look at the leaderboards and these people were grinding it. Like, the first 6 months of that game, they were grinding these leaderboards. And it would be really cool to see. Like, you could even tie it in with pro teams, It's like fan team 100 Thieves, Like, I don't know. It just seems like it could be the case. Yeah. Well, Mitchell's going to grab the door. I guess I'll keep you entertained or something. But yeah, I'm super pumped. Modern Warfare is going to be sick. I'm feeling like I'm going to enjoy it. Feel like I'll be okay at it. Feeling like it's going to have some reminiscence of old Call of Duty with the mobility of new Call of Duty, which is awesome for me. So, lit.
But yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
But yeah.
So like something I really like is I really like macro games to video games. Like with For Honor, for example, the game where there's like knights, Vikings, and samurai. How like you choose a faction that you represent. Like you could always play any character you want, but like you were like played for the Vikings, then you had like turf that you're taking over, and like if you're winning multiplayer matches, you're like contributing towards your faction's meter to like take over a certain turf or zone. I really like shit like that because like after like a 30-day season or month long, like whoever had the most territory would get like a little award or like maybe more XP this next season when they're player, like just a cool like axe for this character on Vikings since you won. And it was really cool because like if I was playing with friends that were the same faction as me or something, like then we'd go to certain territories that we both needed, obviously, because we're fighting for each other. Or like if I was playing with friends or like whatever that like we're on a different faction, Knights versus Vikings or something, we're playing together on the same team, we'd still be like kind of competing with each other jokingly as we were fighting on the same team in team deathmatch because we're like trying to play for the macro game as well. So like as I just worded that was probably confusing the way I worded it, but, but like if there's something like that in COD where like you join in if you're like part of the Spetsnaz or like just you pick like a faction and that you have like maybe like a 3-month or like just a 1-month like little macro game where you're you see like even a world map overview and the map has nothing to do with it, but maybe like if you're playing hardpoint, you're in the US and like you're contributing points towards taking over that turf. You know what I mean? Or like if you're playing domination, then technically domination takes place in like Northern Africa. So like if you're playing domination all the time, you're always contributing to that zone for your macro team, whatever, which I think would be cool. Just, like I said, even like having just like I said that like if multiplayer's all tied together and everything has to do with each other and they all correlate, and having that just set player rank. If I'm playing zombies, I'm contributing to my player rank. If I'm playing multiplayer, I'm also contributing to my player rank. Like it just all goes towards something bigger and better.
Yeah, and also like on top of that, it'd be cool like if they even instead of like Spec Ops and stuff. Like I'm not a huge fan of Spec Ops personally, and I don't really know if I've really talked to anybody who has been a huge fan of Spec Ops. Like I'd like to see, I don't know, they could do that with like maybe like a Battlefield idea of like a spawn-in system where you have like, trenches lined up and you're, facing off against the other faction and shit. You could like spawn in with a sniper rifle or something like that and fight for a little bit and then spawn back out. But it's just constantly live, Like something like that would be kind of cool.
And it could be sweet too because
especially if it's cross-plat, you have a huge player base now if they're all playing on the same console or the same servers. So it's more supportable.
Yeah, no, it could be cool with that too. Is like if you are part of that like that glow. You there?
Yeah, we had a technical difficulty there. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that.
What was the last thing you heard?
Right after I finished talking. So keep talking. Go back to what you were saying. Apologies.
Oh, so what I was saying was like, I don't know what you heard about it, but what I was saying was like, it'd be sick if in like how you, like I was saying, you have that overworld like faction you choose like Spetsnaz or whatever. If you picked them, you always like say you're public matchmaking, you always matchmake into teams that are also that faction. So you like all have that common team you're like wanting to win for.
And then everybody picks one faction and they start dominating.
No, but like whoever you're playing, I mean that'll typically happen, but a lot of times it gates it off. Like in Toronto, for example, if a team was winning and doing well, not just because it was winning, but like it was starting to overflow population wise, they gated it off, so people had to join other factions.
Right.
You just have to. You don't have a choice, which is really smart to do, so it doesn't get too uneven. But like I said, in the public match, make sure everybody on the other team is a different faction, so like you have that natural like shit talking or that natural like competitive essence just already happening and already there. Like it just reminds me of kind of like Horde versus Alliance or something like.
And give me proximity chat.
Yeah, just having that natural little hate in the background. I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I just think Call of Duty's got a dope community that they don't tap into very well. Like look at games like PUBG and stuff like that. Like the games only exist because of their community. Literally. Like in my opinion, like the reason why PUBG got popular in the first place because people started watching videos of like proximity chat, people doing crazy shit and like all kinds of wacky stuff happening, and like the game is just built for community interaction. It feels like, right?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And I just like would like to see. I don't need it to be ridiculous, you know. Like I don't need it to be wacky, but I would just like to see some effort in that direction a little bit with the Call of Duty community.
I like a little bit of what Black Ops 4's is like in BR, like Blackout. If you kill somebody, you can hear them for like a good 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, for sure.
And Blackout also, if you kill the last guy, you can hear them like until they leave the lobby, so you can talk shit back and forth. And then in multiplayer, if people are in game chat, you can hear them for a good 3 seconds, I think 2-3 seconds. Like you kill them, then you hear he's on this. Like it's hilarious to hear people screaming or just getting absolutely pissed. I've heard some kids screaming like bad on there. Like everybody on my team was just like, what is that? Like because everybody could hear it when they were killing them and stuff. So it gets pretty interesting. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like I remember in Halo 2, like was I think the first game, maybe the first game I ever did this even, but like the first game I can remember that had proximity chat where like if you're close to somebody you could hear them, and it was like actually something to think about. But there was a perk in COD 4 that let you hear. There's a perk that let you do that in COD 4. I forget what it's called. Eavesdrop is what it's called. It's called Eavesdrop. And you could literally use it to hear comms.
Oh shit, dude, that's Hex podcast name. That's so fucking dense.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know like how cool that is, because back then that was before party chat was even introduced.
That's
so
true.
If you're on console playing COD 4 at that time when that was out, like you are gonna be hearing them. Like that perk actually made sense because people aren't on Discord back in the day when they're playing Xbox 360. They're definitely in game chat. That's just the way they did it. Like 2006.
Everybody had a mic.
Yeah.
Dude, I missed that. I'm so excited to get back into like a new COD game with like.
And dude, that's definitely the thing too. Is I know that it's gonna be like that in game chat in the new COD because I'm playing Black Ops 4 a ton right now, and it's like that. Like game chat's usually pretty hopping. It's funny. It's so funny. I love game chat in COD. It's definitely something I miss too.
Yeah, I just haven't I've literally been playing games with no game chat for the last 6 years. Feels bad.
Without game chat.
I'm coming home, baby.
You're gonna be overwhelmed.
I'm coming home.
You're gonna be feeling overwhelmed as fuck by the amount of game chat then.
Dude, I'm excited. Excited.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
No, I have an overall positive outlook on the game, personally.
Yeah, I like the slow pace of it, honestly.
Yeah, I think Black Ops 4 is a little too fast. It's just too hectic, and I don't mean this just from a player perspective. I also look at it from like if they're franchising and they want the game to be watchable. Like I think Black Ops 4 is just too fast right now. Like it's,
Yeah,
I
the
don't think
abilities
they
are
can keep
cool
up.
and stuff, but
Yeah.
they don't help casual audiences pay attention to anything going on.
No, and I think it's like easier to watch than like Overwatch, obviously.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah,
and like Search and Destroy really doesn't watch bad. But if you're playing Hardpoint or you're playing something like that, like
control.
Hardpoint and Control are tough. Like it's tough to
Yeah,
watch. Like even the casters are just watching the kill feed basically a lot of the time.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
like
It's like,
rattling off on kills, like, oh my god, he got a 3-piece that we didn't see. Ah,
yeah,
like it's
yeah.
like, oh, sick. Like,
It's funny. It's funny. But yeah, I
but
don't know. I like it. I just like that because I think it'd be more strategic based. I like the concept that like skill beat or like strategy beats skill. I think skill will also be huge, and I think aim's important. But like, I think that slower pace is important because like even deeks, being able to get a one shot deke to the head is sweet. Like that's exciting
yeah,
because that just shows that holding those angles is going to be actually important.
and
And
I
that like
feel
pre-aiming is going to be important. It's not going to be cracked aim and shit with like a Maddox. It's not going to be like sliding and cameraing people with like a ICR or
it's
whatever.
futuristic shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
like the slide to me looked bad too. Like it looked like it was just put in. Like the slide didn't look very good. It looked like it's just like we want it in the game, but it's not going to do much. It definitely didn't look too useful, but I also didn't see many people use it. And
I mean, they had a couple slides around the corners of shotties and stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's just like, I mean, in Black Ops 4, you're literally sliding all the time. I mean, it's literally like
Yeah.
how you move in the game. Like, I don't think that's how that should be. Like, you don't want that to
No, it
be the
shouldn't
way
be
it's
like
played, It should
No.
be a use for certain instances, not like, oh, this is just the best way to move around. So,
But to be honest, I do like the
I like
do
the
like
added mechanics. Yeah, because it gets stale if you don't have it. Yeah.
I like the mechanic of even like shit like where if I'm up on a low ledge and I slide off, that's actually a speed boost. And like
Yeah, 100%.
I like shit like that a lot. Like stuff that they're not gonna tell you in game, but if you find out, like it just makes the skill cap higher. That's why, like I said before, I liked Gears so much. It had a lot of nuances like that. They were awesome. But but that's not to be said, like I said, I think the movement will be polished up a little bit more.
I mean, it's still. I mean, they got what, like 4 months, 3 months, 4 months.
3 months, yeah.
3 months, yeah. That's not. I mean, it's not bad. We got to get on the Black Ops grind,
bro. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm excited for August 1st.
Yeah, that's gonna be hype. I was just saying we gotta get some Black Ops grinded in the next 3 months, baby.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm. August 1st should be hype, and if it's not hype, I'll be very sad.
I think it will be. Like I said, I think it's going to be a long trailer. I say 7 minutes minimum. I'm excited. Maybe we'll see. Maybe not. But like they have to at that point, right? They barely shown anything still. Even after that whole hour of gameplay, they've still barely shown anything.
Yeah, they've barely shown anything. And honestly, yeah, I think it's going to be impactful as hell. Especially if we get Blackout gameplay, we get multiplayer gameplay. If that happens, they give us any Blackout, even just a sneak peek at the map. It's going to be like, holy fuck. Like, I just, that's how I feel like it's going to be.
I'm just excited for it no matter what. I'm even comfortable to say I'd probably pre-order it right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. I've just decided I'm playing this game. Like,
yeah. It's just how happy we're going to be about it.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm confident. And honestly, the new engine has me very excited. Even if this game isn't killer, it just seems like a kind of a page turn for Call of Duty for sure. Because it definitely looks phenomenal. I mean, the graphics look great for being on a PS4. That reveal for 2v2 looked freaking good, bro.
I'm wondering if it was.
You think they put them on PC and play it on controller?
You easily plug a controller in, yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's possible.
I'm curious to how trusting I can be about that.
Yeah, they're probably trying to convince us it's a PS4 Slim.
It did look good, though. It did look good, though. I agree with you. And I'm not saying that PS4 can't look that good, because it can, especially on maps that small. So I'm curious to see if there'll be a downgrade.
Yeah, but my thing, though, is like World War II would like drop frames and shit. It's like, if that, like, that's the last, like, it's the last COD that I played super
Battlefield 5 runs decently on PS4, though. Like,
that's
decently,
true.
not
it's true,
but like 60 a lot of the time.
I was saying more like, I guess some of the CODs have had histories of like kind of like there have been CODs where it's like the hit detection kind of sucks in the first month, and it's like kind of like not the best server launch. Do they have dedicated servers? Have you heard this at all?
I don't know if they have.
Are they still doing hosts? It's fucking stupid, bro.
I don't know. I think they have dedicated servers by now. They've got to.
No, they don't right now. I know they don't right now.
No, okay.
I'm just asking. I just don't know if they have it in the new. Like that just seems like something that has to be a thing, right?
Yeah, I guess it won't be.
Especially
It's too
crossplay
popular of
now.
a game. It's too popular of a game. I guess they would only do dedicated servers probably in VR.
They probably have to have dedicated servers in VR.
But yeah, we gotta wrap up.
Yeah, we're at 8:05. We hit an hour on the dot, dude.
But it was good. Thank you for listening, everybody who came in. Thank you for listening to the VOD. Hope you like listening about COD because it is kind of a huge game coming out. That's extra for us now as well. But it's fun to talk about because it's just so different. I think a lot of people that haven't liked COD in the past foreverness, like probably 8 years, will possibly like this one.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously, our conversations will broaden quite a bit, but with the COD coming out and then with the multiplayer reveal, we probably won't talk about it. Probably won't talk about it much next week or the week after, but the week after that, actually, we'll probably do a special podcast after the Modern Warfare reveal, or after the reveal. It's probably the way we'll do it. But
probably. It'll be exciting.
Yeah, oh, it's going to be giddy, dude. I'm not going to be able to sleep. But all right, well, I appreciate everybody stop by watching the VOD or in the chat, and we will be back live next Sunday at 7 p.m. EST. So
absolutely,
I'll see you guys there.
Peace. Take it easy. Peace.